Hello and welcome to the Nordic Takedown podcast. My name is Jason the Captain Kirk, and this is your weekly Nordic Star Wars Unlimited podcast where we talk about anything and everything to do with the wonderful game Star Wars Unlimited. And today I have one guest with me, and it's our returning guest, Stevo, all the way from the wondrous lands of Denmark. How you doing, Stevo? Welcome back.
Hey, I'm doing great. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure to be here with you guys. Or
Excellent.
tonight I'm having you for myself, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone is exhausted or working. Victor and Adam that were in Munich, I think Victor was squeezing in a pre-release and Adam was
Nice.
not feeling too good. So yeah, we're I'm the one with the most energy. So I got the fun of working out how do we round up Munich, and thought, well, why not?
Jason's sitting at home waiting for everybody to come home and talk to him and play it. Everybody's just tired,
I know.
man.
It was so quiet. It's like, where is everyone? Oh yeah, they're all my friends are there, and I'm not. But I thought, okay, why not? Before, like, if we're going to get any guest on to talk about this, why not get the Scandinavian person that went the longest in the tournament? Stevo, you went to place 7th. We're going to spoil, those of you who knew, those of you who listened that are aware of the Nordics, everyone knows that Stevo went to 7th, went to top 8. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And we're going to go into that. Yeah, we're going to get into that a lot.
Weekend.
Yeah. You must be a bit exhausted coming home, I guess.
Yeah, a little bit, but it's always crazy playing these long days. I mean, I don't really think it matters much where you place or where you end up. Just the fact that you're sitting down playing a card game for like 6, 7, 8 hours straight, like 2 days in a row,
dream,
right? It's so mentally draining, but it's also it's a part of the fun, like who can endure the longest as well, and who can still think straight after such a long time. So that's it's a part of the challenge, right?
And who doesn't get put off by the fact you're on a stream, for example. So that can also affect people there as well. But before we get into all of Munich, like apart from preparing for Munich and everything, what other Star Wars Unlimited stuff have you been doing? Have you been like testing out different decks in the roll up to Munich? Have you been looking at the set 6 cards, getting excited about that? What have you been doing on the Star Wars Unlimited?
Honestly, it's been a little bit quiet for me for the past few weeks. I wasn't really that, what do you say, like I wasn't that motivated by a lot of the by a lot of the options that I had for playing in Bilbao for the regional qualifier, and then I had played Gar Saxon ECL just to try it out. Like, okay, let's see what this ECL Vader thing is about. Is it really that broken? Spoiler: yes, it is. But I played it there, and I mean, I had low expectations. It went quite well, and I was like, okay, I don't want to start over, like practicing a new deck or figuring out what to play. So I just stuck with it, tried to optimize it a little bit, and just get a few more reps in to be a bit more prepared for Munich. And I mean, went quite well, right? So I'm definitely happy and satisfied with where I ended up.
Some people would say it went quite well, unless you went there to win it, and then it went really badly.
Yeah, no, I'm really happy. Like I have nothing to be frustrated or mad about. I'm happy for going top 8. My best placement, without a doubt.
Excellent. Those of you who haven't, who maybe have missed it, I did some videos last week for the pre-release prep. I didn't actually get to a pre-release myself because my parents were visiting from the UK. So obviously I would prioritize that. Very few things I
Should
prioritize
have just
over.
brought them along, teach them the game.
I tried, but it didn't quite work out. But not there are a few things that I prioritize over Star Wars, and family is one of them. So I had to take one for the team on the family sense and do that. However,
have you looked at anything Secrets of Power related yet?
I have. I did the pre-release video, right? And we opened up the stuff and everything. So I built a deck, and there's some very interesting stuff. I feel like you have to work a little bit more with Secrets of Power, especially with the plot and the disclosing and everything, just to get some of those leaders running. But I think they could be really good and really interesting. So I built if I was trying to remember rightly, actually a Sabe, red Sabe deck was the one that I landed on, and then I had a backup with the blue-green in Palpatine, I think, because I had a few fun plot things. And especially getting Cinta in off as like an off aspect for that plot turn.
I mean, she just seems worth it to maybe just have a one-off in any kind of deck, right? Like,
I know, right? Yeah, but because obviously with Palpatine, she's actually a 5. She actually costs 5 with Palpatine because she's a 6. So yeah, he has 3 discount on the plot card. So she actually comes out for the 5, and then you can have a 1. A 1 cost plot card that you can get in there as well. So that looks. I haven't had a chance to test the decks though, but building the decks was super fun. Opening up the new cards and just seeing them. And there's I think there's going to be quite a few cards in the set come rotation that will be staples. Just some generic strong cards, which I think will be quite important come rotation.
There's some very high numbers on some of them. We got the second card with a cost of 6. That's a 7/7. The first one was the Vader pilot from set 4, but now we also got Captain Rex, which I heard from some of my friends that he was absolutely bonkers in the pre-release weekends. Also got a 2-cost unit with Restore 2 on the ground, and some of the numbers have just gotten like a slight bump, right?
There's been a little bit of power creep, and I think that's necessary because the first set, and I think power creep works when there's rotation, right? Because there's going to be they're going to be rotated out eventually. Right, so they have some things where it's more technical, some things where it's just more about power, but some of the 2-drops I've seen are actually coming out and they can hit for a lot more, and they're more effective on the 2-drop moment on the 2-drop part. So I think that could be something quite interesting go into this, but do that. And I'm actually this week or this weekend I'm going to be filming the showcase matchup as well, so I'm going to get a chance to play with them, and I'm going to get my boxes through this week because I haven't actually opened up my own boxes yet. They're coming in the post.
Man, that's the frustrating thing about the sector being on top of the pre-release, right? Like I haven't been able to go sign pre-releases, didn't manage to get any product yet, so I just feel like I'm already behind. But I'm gonna go to some weekly play tomorrow, and then hopefully gonna be able to open back. I did manage to snatch 1 Carbonite booster while in Munich, so I mean at least that was a little bit of fun to kick off the new set, right?
Nice. Anything nice in the Carbonite?
I got a chopper for the Prestige, which was pretty cool. I was I'm looking out for either General Grievous or Cad Bane. So maybe I'll have to get some more boosters or look out for the single.
I like that new chopper unit. I really like it's just as a card, as a unit, I think it's really nice.
I mean, hitting for 4 after the first turn, right? That's just again like high numbers if he gets to survive.
Yeah, and he works with the C3PO deck as well. So I'm really looking forward to playing more C3PO playing some
Mm,
C3PO. We've got a little deck building discussion on in the Nordic Takedown Discord for those of you who haven't joined us yet, where we talk through different decks as well. And I'm talking with King Smudge, his nickname in here, about a C3PO deck, which he is enjoying a lot. So I'm looking forward to that one. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing. Completely missing out on Munich, I will have to say. I didn't get to watch much. However, I do have stats, and we do have everything, the information, and we have someone who went a long way with us, so I think we're going to do okay and just catching up. But then this is also a good opportunity for me who missed it. You can tell me everything that I missed, and all of our listeners exactly what we're doing. So you just imagine you're talking to someone really stupid who doesn't know anything about Munich. So it's in Germany, right?
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we there were a bunch of nerds gathered in Munich, in Germany, quite central. So it was a good
Which is quite
location.
often actually, because Munich, I mean Germany itself is a big board gaming
Mm,
nation, so a
yeah,
bunch of nerds gathered anywhere is quite good to see and quite common, I guess.
yeah, definitely. And I feel
Yeah,
like the German Star Wars Unlimited community is also quite big and
yeah.
borders up to, like, of course, the likes of France and Italy and so on, which are also quite big communities. So we did see a lot of players from there as well. Regarding like the
Hmm.
actual event, it's always weird because you hear stuff from a lot of it is word of mouth while you're there, whereas
Mm.
when you're home you have a much better, like, bird eye view, is that what it's called,
Yeah. Like an
overview at least.
overview of
Yeah, right. So during the first few rounds, everybody were like, "Oh my God, there's so much blue green villainy. Oh, there's so many Thrawns. There's so many Gar Saxons." And of course, it's just what they see, right? I'm like, where the hell are those? Because I haven't seen any of them. I was just seeing a bunch of Han Solo decks, and then I come home and it's all different numbers, right?
Yeah.
But it was very even this time around. The most played deck was Sabine ECL with 39,
Hmm.
so less than 10%, which I think is good, and then closely
Yeah.
followed by Han
10%
Solo.
because it was 512 player um,
Yeah,
tournament
yeah,
as well. So it was. I'm not going to work out that percentage. Is it 50?
7.6.
7.6%? There we go.
Yeah. I mean the top decks are pretty much what you would expect, but I think that the percentages are lower than what they've previously been, right? So
Yeah.
we had Sabine Wren on top with the Energy Conversion Lab, been a popular deck for ever, right?
Yeah.
Uh, and then closing in on 35 decks was Han Solo from set 2, but
Hmm.
not the one we've gotten to love playing Octobocto, because it wasn't the
That
Blue
wasn't
Force
the
deck.
Blue Force, no.
It was also the ECL deck. After
Hmm.
seeing both Sib and Batang reaching top four and the finals in the
Hmm.
Bilbao regional qualifier, a lot of people seem to jump on that wagon,
Yeah.
and did quite
And
well.
yeah, and we can say at this point as well that neither of those top two decks, which obviously 39 and 35, neither of those made top eight. Actually, with
Yeah, that's
all
true.
of those there, that actually and in third place we had with 33, we had the Han Solo Force Blue,
Yeah.
and we had one of those in the top eight there.
Yeah, and yeah, it's actually fun since the top eight consisted of 8 different leaders,
Yeah, that was good.
and none of them were or 8 different decks, and none of them were the top two. So, but yeah, then we have Han Solo from set 2 with the blue force base, Cad Bane Tarkin Town, Han Solo from set 1 with the green base,
Hmm.
um, which has seen a little bit of spike. It's been a pretty good deck, and it was very well regarded in the jump to light speed meta at the previous sectors and regionals. And personally, I was just waiting for it to spike completely, because if you just get the Millennium Falcon and then a Chewbacca pilot, like you're pretty good to go. But he never really got there. Like it's been performing quite well, but there was a little rise in it this time around. 27 players. I think that's more than there were in Bilbao, at least. I think it was around 15, maybe, if I don't remember wrong. And yeah, then some Boba with Data Vault, some Kira with Data Vault, some Talson, also a bit of spike up after the Bilbao win by a Talson. Some Gar Saxon, Iden, Yoda, Palpatine, Vader, and like then it starts to fizzle out a bit, right? Where you have less than 10 decks on each of those leaders. But yeah, just super cool to see such a wide range of decks. Of course, some of the colors overlap, but a lot of the decks still play like somewhat differently.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like, and a lot of them, obviously, with the earlier sets still being strong, and those early cards being popular, those early leaders being popular. So it'd be interesting to see the shift going into secrets now as well. Like, how many of these will stick around?
Yeah.
So
it's gonna be fun to see if it's gonna stay the same. Like how big of a deal is this, especially plot, gonna be, right? Are we gonna see the same decks but maybe with 1 or 2 plot cards each, or are the new leaders gonna be good enough to shift the meta a bit? That's always the case, right? And I think we need to see some decks and some tournaments to figure out what direction we're heading.
Victor and Adam last week's episode, they talked a lot about like Sabine getting a lot of support actually from the plot with some particular cards there as well, and what can happen on Sabine's flip turn now that can make her really. I think with Jar Jar Binks, I think is a shoe in on that one as well. So maybe this is Sabine's big time to shine before she rides off into the rotation Moonlight.
She didn't get too much from Legends of the Force, so maybe she had a little break, or I mean, not really. She was still very much.
I mean, with 39, I don't think she had a break at all there.
No. But
I think there's still those people that love her, but you know, and just to wind up, Victor, who's probably listening to this, I mean, anyone can play Sabine, right? So he's not here to argue. He can just be shouting at me down his sake. No, of course. I mean, so playing Sabine, yeah, it might be an easier leader, but to play it well, you need to be good.
Yeah. I like to call it not easy but simple, right?
Yeah.
It's a simple leader. It's easy to learn but hard to master, I would say.
Yeah. So what did you? We're going to get to your run in a little bit, but just in general, what did you see like a wide range of opponents yourself? Now that we're talking about this, or was it very focused on like one archetype of deck?
So Gar Saxon is very good against the Han-2 blue force decks, and it has been very popular for quite a while. And I faced a lot of them in Bilbao, and honestly, I was just praying to have the same matchups in Munich, and I did see quite a few of them. So a lot of Han-2. I played 5 Han-2s in total, 3 with the blue force base and 2 with the ECL. So they were definitely like a big part of the meta. And then a lot of this blue-green villainy that was just split on different decks, right? So there's some Iden, there's some Kira, there's some Thrawn, of course also Gar Saxon that I played myself. So yeah, I didn't. I looked at the list and then I saw that there were a lot of Sabine and Han 1 with the green and Boba and so on, but it's always a bit random, right? Like you play 8 to 10, 13 rounds, and of course you're only going to see like a small portion of what happens. But I mean, it was outside from the other than the Hans, it was quite a wide range of decks that I faced. So that was fun. Like it's always
that's good to see.
Yeah, fun with some variety, right? So that the matches aren't just the same the whole day long.
Yeah, because while we're on the subject of the meta, but there was the green red heroic was actually 97% showing there, and so 97%, 97 decks
Yeah,
with green red, and obviously a lot of those were the mixture of made up of Han ECL and Han 2 ECL and Sabine ECL
yeah.
there as well. But no, there was also 91 of the blue green villainy decks,
Yeah, yeah,
and obviously that spread would have been wider, right? Because there were more, like you say, Idens,
yeah.
Thrawns, Gar Saxon, etc.,
More leader-based
making up.
combinations to
Yeah,
fight for those spots.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. And then there's a big break there as well with 50 with green red villainy, blue red heroic was 49 and stuff. And so there's that big but those two those two combinations actually really coming out ahead as well. So that's good that you didn't actually just see a lot of the one thing. Apart from the is it the Han ECL that you said that you saw that
yeah.
you had a
But
good run against.
fun to see those two like as the
Yeah.
big two, right? Like the very aggressive decks and the very controlly
Yeah.
decks,
Yeah.
just opposite of each other, and then a little bit of mix below that.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, cool. Well, that was the case as well. Well, let's talk about the rest of the event, like at the end. Now we're into like the meta and what you faced. Should we go through your run and how you got to the top eight, and we'll start off with the deck choice. I mean, you already said a little about the start, like you stuck with Gar
Mm.
Saxon, you didn't have enough time to practice. Is this
Yeah.
completely your deck at all? Is this someone else's deck? Did you tweak it? I know you work a lot with Jonas to build decks as well. But how did
Mm.
you land on this version of this Gar Saxon?
Um. So the core of it is pretty much the same throughout all of the Gar Saxon decks. I copied a list from a planetary qualifier winner, like that won a month or two ago, or yeah,
Mm.
a few weeks before Bilbao, and then I tried it out, and it went quite well, and then I played a bit with it myself from there. Um, the I didn't test that much with Jonas, or at least he wasn't interested in playing Gar. The only testing we did was playing Gar Saxon against Hantu Blue, and he
Mm-hmm.
did not like he did not like that because he was playing Hantu. Uh,
So it was a
uh,
match at that Hantu Blue that you were talking about, the not the Hantu Green that I talked about before, but the Hantu Blue. You were familiar with that matchup, so you
yeah,
probably felt more comfortable. Even if it was a good matchup, you felt more confident into that matchup.
yeah, definitely. I figured out it was a pretty good matchup, and then I decided to stick on it for Bilbao, and then
Mm.
play it a bit more for Munich. But yeah, so most of the deck is the same between almost all of the guard decks, I would say.
Mm.
If anyone is interested in my list, you can
I'll,
reach out
I'll
to me
I'll link it in
on Discord. Yeah, you can
the
link it,
show notes as well. Yeah.
or you can also find it on some site for the sector, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, there are some decisions that people are starting to make. It was very common to run General Grievous and or the Knight of Ren, the 4/4 units for 3. Some people started swapping them out for the Wingman Victor 3, the pilot, that is 4/3
Mm-hmm.
for 3 instead, but then can pilot for 1 resource, while also giving an experience token to another unit. So
Yeah.
essentially buffing 2 units for the price of 1 resource. I tried it out and it felt really good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the list.
Especially when it was, but and I've noticed this myself playing
Mhm,
Thrawn in our kind of little league, where obviously the JTL side with a lot of space has been going off, and the people have been focusing a lot more on ground. I feel because
mm,
that's where I was going. So I
yeah,
guess did you feel that was quite strong that you had a bit more in space to deal with those space decks and a bit more power there to get around those ones that were ground heavy, or you know, Do you think
So
that was a good decision for down for that? You know, the meta and where things were going now.
yeah, I like it. I didn't do it that much for necessarily buffing space as it was to just buff 2 units at once, right? It still it can
Mm.
still be really good to help with some math, to buff an Inferno 4 up to a 4/4, so it can take out a Millennium Falcon and still survive, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That can be really good. I was really worried if the 1 health difference between the Wingman and General Grievous was going to be a big factor. I was, because we have all these -3 effects going around, right, with the Talzin's
Yeah.
Assassin and Anakin and stuff like that. But it wasn't relevant this time around,
No.
which was good. There were a few times where my opponent, Han2 Blue, they would have the initiative, they would play Yaddle, and I wouldn't have a good answer. But because I just want to keep them off the force, I would take the initiative and just ECL the Wingman into it, leaving me with
Mm.
a 4-power unit on board that would still survive. So as long as it's 3 health and not only 2, like it's fine. It's pretty good. There's some, yeah, moving along with deck a little bit. There's some items,
Mm.
there's some lump pikes, there's some shuttles, really good cards. um I played 2 takedowns. I think they were in the list that I initially copied, but almost nobody else plays it.
No.
I
Did it work
really
for you
like,
though? Was it something that was
I've been
effective? Do you think?
incredibly happy with it. I really like to just play like almost full control until flip turn, where I can just ECL Vader and flip, and then just
Build and win.
just push damage to base from there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a game on day 2 I was playing against Han2 ECL, I believe, and he played Grogu, and I took initiative. I played power, and then he played something else. I took initiative, played power, and then Owen Lars, and he played something else, and I took initiative and I played takedown, and he was like, "You're not playing Aiden. Like I thought you were playing Gar Saxon. What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we'll get to it. We'll get to it." um, so yeah,
Yeah.
um, 2 cards that I feel like are a bit my own additions though are the Torrenta tech and the main board.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Victor, from the pod, also played Gar Saxon at the event, and so I was talking a bit to him in the days going up to the event, and showed him my list, and he was like, "Terentatic, what the hell is that doing in there?" I'm like, tried to explain a little bit, like it's not supposed to be like an all-star in the deck, but it's a really good like addition in the middle game, because usually on 5 you only have the Overwhelming Barrage or Craving Power to fill out the curve, but I really wanted a big unit that I could play those cards off on 6 resources if necessary. And also, since there's so many force units in the meta, the ambush can just be really good. Like
Yeah.
I've ambushed a lot of Yaddles, and also against all of the Han2 ECLs, it ended up being really useful because they would play an Obi-Wan with Sentinel, and then I can just
Mm.
ambush with Syringe Tech to open up the space for the units that I would have on board, right? So it has been really helpful. And Victor also, he was very skeptical about it, but he came to me. I think it was at the end of day 1 or something like that, and he's like, "Dude, Tyrantic is really good." So like he was skeptical
Did
going
he
in, but
copy you and put it into his deck, or did he?
I think he took the suggestion. I don't know if he played exactly the same list
No,
as me, but
no.
there were some overlaps, and I know
Did,
that he ended up playing that at least. But yeah, I was just,
excellent.
I felt like a madman also when talking to men, and when people would see my list and I would like ask for suggestions, or like, "Hey, do you have any ideas of what to optimize or change?" Like they would often like suggest, "Do you really need that strength deck?" I'm like, "Yes, I think I do." And I was so happy when he came to me and told me that, okay, like it was just like if he saw like the light at the end of the tunnel, like
Yeah.
now he understood what it was about, and I was just, it was so satisfying for me. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm happy that at least one other person likes the Tyrantus
Yeah.
in the guard deck.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I
other
think it's
than
I think it is a really really good choice because there is a lot of force in there. There's people
yeah,
are playing those fun force. There's a lot of strong force units from the set, and obviously Secrets wasn't in
yeah,
there, so that was the latest set. And there were some strong force units, as I said. So that's a very good meta call.
yeah. I had a very interesting interaction that was in Bilbao though, but I was playing against a Han 2 blue, and the board was pretty clear. On 5 resources, he would play an Anakin cheaper to kill my 2 units, I think, or something like that. And then I claimed initiative, and he didn't want to deploy his leader because then he was expecting me to ECL Vader into both and clear them, right? Which I mean, which is fair, but since he didn't do that, he only had 1 unit on board, which was the Anakin with 2 damage on it. So then I just took initiative, and then I played the Tyrantic into it, like just sacrificing both units, making the trade, and then I still had the shield for later when he would play something else big, right? So yeah, I've been really happy
Yeah,
with that card in the deck. I think it's been doing exactly what I wanted it to.
yeah.
But yes,
Because that's always the thing with playing against ECL. You want you want your opponent to trigger ECL early on, so they don't have the answer
yeah,
later.
yeah,
So it's just another option that you can keep that. The same with timely,
yeah.
that you have that there.
Exactly, and
So
yeah,
yeah,
worst case, I can still ECL the Tyrantic, or I can play timely Tyrantic on 6 if I have it in hand and stuff like that. So it's still just,
exactly, yeah,
and it helps with the curve a lot later in the game, because then I cannot necessarily play the bigger units, but it's another card that I can play. So on 7 I can play the Tyrantic at 2 cost, or on 8 I can play Tyrantic at 3 cost, and yeah, helps to play out these later rounds in the game a lot, I think, while still putting a big presence on the board because it still has 5 power, which is quite a lot, I would say.
yeah.
Um,
How did the sideboard work for you?
Sideboard worked quite
You got
well.
2 Confiscate, 2 Legal Authority, 2 Ego Escort Fighter. That's the ambush 4/1. 2 Lurking TIE Phantoms. Nice little off aspect one there, and then 2 Traitorous's, which you can never complain about those.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with all of the cards. I think my sideboard is pretty different from most people. The only card that I didn't really get to use that much was Confiscate. I think it's a good card, and but I didn't really face any pilot leaders. I didn't face any upgrade heavy games. I used it once against Sabine that put a Yoda's lightsaber on and stuff like that, right? But the rest was really nice. The Lurking Tie was the second card that was like my own little spin on the deck alongside the Serenity. I think I was the only person with the Lurking Tie in the deck, and it's for these blue-green villain decks, right, where they want to go long and play the Super Laser Blast and stuff like that. And I can pull it, even though it's off aspect, so it costs 5 to play from hand. But since I played 2 Darth Vader from Spark of Rebellion in main deck, I can find those and play them for free. Which was the goal. I never got around to test it, but that was the theory. And then I finally played against 3 of those decks during the Swiss rounds, and it worked really nicely. People were caught off guard by it quite a lot, because it was supposed to make it awkward for them to, if I played on 7 and then they can Super Laser Blast, they only get 1, and if they want to use a hard removal on the Vader, then they can rarely deal with the Lurking Tie as well. So it's like one or the other. So I was quite happy about
it feels like you said, like the trend to take it feels that 5 cost slot of the curve as well.
Yeah. I did play it on in the final Swiss round. I did end up playing it just because I had an awkward hand and it was against Akira, and then I just decided to ride on that wave a little bit. But yeah, I'll get into that in a minute, perhaps. But
absolutely, yeah.
Regarding,
do you want to mention anything more about your deck before we go on to your run?
No, I don't think so. Like the Trader is good for capturing units. I use that against like the red heroic decks, they would smuggle cash in. I trade a it, then they get really sad, and I swing with their ready cash in instead. The Eager S card was actually pretty cool. It's definitely for space decks, especially Han
Mm-hmm.
Solo from Spark of Rebellion that plays the Falcons with 4 health. But I also sided it in a lot in matchups where I just wanted to go very aggressive. So I ended up siding it in against Han 2 ECLs, just to swing 4/4 and also to kill stuff like Sabine's Masterpiece and so on. It's also a good target for Legal Authority because then it gets bumped to 5 power and can capture a lot of stuff. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, so pretty happy with the deck.
Really nice. Cool. Excellent. So your was it 6-2? No, you went 10-3.
Yes, final score was 10-3.
Over 10-3. But how did your run go? How did that look for us?
I'll try to skip through it a little bit quickly.
Yeah.
Day 1, first round was against the Thrawn 4 Data Vault. I won that 2-0. Was a bit tricky with Cobb Vanth because he was playing the Loth Wolf 3/3 Sentinel. That was also heroic, so he was able to double trigger Anakin and stuff like that. But it was very funny because I just played Lump Pike and he didn't suicide the Cobb Vanth into the Lump Pike, so then I took initiative and I swung to base with the Lump Pike and I gave Cobb Vanth the shield so he couldn't suicide it any longer. That he didn't like. So yeah, that went quite
Cobb
well.
Vanth is such a strong card for that deck, but
yeah, it is. And
if you turn off Cobb Vanth, it's very difficult to do that.
I was very surprised. I don't know if it's because I was only at 25 health with the energy conversion lab, but he decided to swing base instead of just killing Cobb Vanth, which I was sure he was just going to suicide into the Lump Pike. But I mean, I was just going to abuse the situation, right? But yeah, took that 2-0. Then in round 2, I played against a Han 2 Blue Force. That was Nicola, actually. So at least a little friendly matchup. Would have hoped like to see it later on in the tournament, but unfortunately, it had to be that way. At least it's always bittersweet playing against people right, from somewhat local communities. So we still had a good laugh, but I took that 2-0. Very favorable matchup for me. Round 3 was my first loss. I lost against Akat Bane Tarkintown 0-2. Other than Aiden Data Vault, I would say that's probably my worst matchup. I lost to it twice in Bilbao as well, and it's just super difficult. It's very, very aggressive and can easily remove even shielded units with the criminal muscle. So that is very tricky. Round 4 and 5 was 2-0 against 2 more Hansu Blue Force.
Standard.
Yeah. And round 6 was against the first Hansu ECL. So I had seen it from Bilbao, from Sip and Batang playing it, and I had also noticed a lot of people switching to it. So I was pretty sure I was going to run into it at some point. And I hadn't played against it, but I treated it a bit like Sabine, and it went fairly well. At this point, I was 5-1, so I just needed one more win to secure my day 2. In Bilbao, I was 6-1, and in the same situation, but I ended up losing my 2 winning in, so I was very, very worried that the same thing was going to happen here. And round 7, I run into a Piet Red, Oliver, I believe, the guy who actually ended up in the final. And I got absolutely demolished by him. Super nice guy, but like that's not a good matchup for me. I realized. And then we were at the very final game, and I had to win it to make the day 2, and unfortunately I did. I played against Akira Data Vault, and I won that 2-1. Going into day 2, round 9, the first round of day 2, I played against a Sabine Ziel. I won that 2-0. Round 10, I won 2-1 against a Quinlan Tarkintown. I won the first game, and then in the second, I was pretty sure I had it. The game was going to end on 6 resources for sure, but I didn't expect him to actually clutch it out. On 5 resources, he played a sneak attack to put Plo Koon into play and hit 6 on base right away, and I was not ready for that. So he took that game, but fortunately, I took the third one and won the round. round 11, I played against the second Hantu ECL for me, and I won that 2-1. And then in the very final Swiss round, I played Joni, aka Lemonbird from Finland.
Oh yeah,
I've seen
yeah,
his name before, but I hadn't met him, and so that was a pleasure. It was super nice. There were some technical difficulties in the last Swiss round, so we were just sitting and chatting a bit, and then they came to us, oh hey, do you want to go on stream? And they were like, oh, never mind, we're gonna choose someone else, and then just keep shuffling. And then they came, oh, we need to do a deck check. Oh, never mind. Oh, yes, we do actually. Anyway, so yeah, it was a bit of a mess up in the last round, and we were just sitting and chatting a little bit about it. So it was a pleasure to meet him. But I ended up winning 2-1 against him, and then in the third game, I had the pleasure of playing the Lurking Tie on 5 resources. And then on 6 resources, I played Krennic Shuttle to put a shield on it, and I played the Wingman Victor 3 to put another health on it, so that then it wouldn't die to if he would ambush a space unit, and it wouldn't die to Snoke. So the only thing that would deal with it would be either no glory or traitors in case he played them. So I was just like putting all my eggs into the Lurking Tie basket, and it played out. I think he mentioned that he had
yeah,
some outs to it, but it was very tricky for him to deal with everything at once as well.
yeah. If he dealt with that, he probably wouldn't have dealt with something else.
Yeah, exactly, and that was exactly the dilemma I wanted to put people in.
Yep.
Um, and that
Cool.
was
And
the
then
end
so
of
that was the end of
Swiss.
Swiss. You got
Yes.
into top 8.
Yeah.
And then you
And
played against Iden.
I didn't data vault. So yeah, then the standings were published, and the seedings is that 1 go against 8 and 2 goes against 7 and so on. I was placed 7, so I needed that. I knew that I was facing up against Jonah from Germany, but I didn't know what he was playing. So I was going around asking people like, hey, do you know what he's playing? And I figured out eventually that he was playing Iden. Then I ran into Nicholas from Sweden, who is the local Iden champion, and I asked him if he had any like suggestions or advice that I could take with me going into top 8. And he was like, nah, and like I'm sure that's not how it happened, but I just remember it as him looking at me, chuckling a little bit, and saying good luck. Uh,
Basically, stay alive, right?
yeah, but I mean, yes. I went into the top 8. They wanted to put us on stream. Going towards the stream table, the judge said that, "Oh, this is going to be an interesting match." And in my head, I was just like, "No, it's not." Um, and I later like watched the stream back, and then the caster said the same on stream. And I mean, at least on stream, like you're supposed to say that, like, right? You cannot say that it's going to be a boring match, but
Yeah,
still, like,
we're going to watch it anyway, but this is going to be boring. See you in the next
like,
game.
but yeah. Jonah played in Data Vault, and I got absolutely demolished. There was not really anything I could do.
No.
In the second game, I sided in the Lurking Ties, but both my Vaders and both my TIE Phantoms were in the bottom 10 cards. So I was not playing those.
No.
I had lost way before.
Do you
So
think if you drew better, it would have helped your
it
chances?
would have helped
Uh,
me, but I don't know if it would have saved it, because it's still just super difficult. There's so much removal, so much healing, especially. Like
yeah,
I think it's really the healing from the leader ability that makes the
yeah,
difference in that matchup.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, it would have given me a chance, but not much more than that. But
I mean, yeah. I
Jonah
mean,
was a really good
considering
player. Yeah,
yeah,
go on.
considering you went 10-3 in total, and 2 of your losses were against the finalist and the champion.
Mm.
I think you had a very, very good showing, and should very much feel proud of yourself for getting that far.
Yeah, I'm super pleased with it, and especially going to the top 8. I told like people were like, oh, I'm sorry that you lost and so on. I'm like, yeah, it would have been nice to go into top 4, but I'm just happy that, and I think Victor wrote this as well in the Discord somewhere, but I'm just happy that the loss was kind of out of my control, right? Like I didn't lose
Mm,
because I necessarily
yeah,
made a play mistake or something, but it was just a horrible matchup. So I cannot be mad at myself, really. That's just how it went. So I went out of there with my head high, and I was very happy with it.
Awesome. So the event in itself. So you're the prizing there. What did you come home with for winning for coming seventh? In
Um, so that was I don't know. I was about to say that's the fun part. Of course it is, but in Bilbao, like there was a huge contrast between the pricing, which was a bit interesting. Um, Jonas got to top 8 in Bilbao and was awarded almost nothing. Like he got a top 8 card and a top 8 playmat, and that was about it. Like I think he got some extra event packs as well, but not much more than that. And then we looked at like the pricing for the sector in Munich, and I was just like, you get everything. I ended up getting 2 displays, some a lot of extra of these like event packs, silver packs, which had like the exclusive alternative arts of some cards, and then you get these uncut sheets, which is such a cool collectible. Top 64 actually all got one of these with various cards from all of the sets up until now. So from set 1 to 5, and it was mostly legendaries. Like I think there were a few rares, but it was like Vigilance and Snow unit from set 2, and Cunning and Mole and stuff like that. Just on an uncut sheet before they would get cut out like into individual cards, right?
Yeah.
So I'm getting it shipped, and I can't wait for it to arrive. I hope it will do fine in post, so
Wow.
that I can get
That's
it
nice. That's
framed
gonna go in a
and put on
frame,
the wall.
right? And on
Yeah,
your
yeah,
on your wall.
exactly. And
That's
then
pretty
top
nice.
16 would get one of these like uncut sheets as well, but with the sector exclusive cards, I think it is. So that's also gonna be pretty cool. So yeah, like felt a bit weird that there was such a big difference. I hope that they will streamline it a bit more with pricing for these events. I would say that it should get about the same. I don't know if it's up to the organizer or if it's
Yeah.
FFG that decides this kind of stuff, but yeah.
I think eventually they will, if I remember right. I think listening to the new community manager,
Mm,
um, what's his name, Alex. I have to double check that, but he was. I listened to a different podcast. He was doing interviews. Actually, He's actually in the process of trying to streamline the pricing so that
yeah.
everything is pretty much the same through all of the events. But he's so new into what is tenure there. He hasn't long started the job, so that hopefully
Mm,
that was going to actually be improving in the future
yeah.
when he can put his stamp on things.
Yeah, that's gonna be nice to see. Hopefully, it will
Yeah,
improve a bit.
yeah. Cool. How did the other guys? Because you're a member of the Nordic Knights
Yeah.
as a team, which is really nice to getting into a team and everything. That's something I haven't had a chance to do. Apart from obviously the Nordic Takedown, we're not really a team so much as
Yeah.
we go and promote the podcast. But
Of
how did
course.
the other guys do? Yeah, so you were there. It was Jonas, Sebastian, Michael, and yourself.
Yeah, we're
As
5 on the team.
yeah.
Unfortunately, Morton couldn't make it for the event. But the other guys also did quite well. We were joking that Jonas decided to give the rest of us a chance for once. Unfortunately, he was the only one that didn't make day 2 within the team. He
Mm,
ended 5-3 and lost his winning in
mm,
on day 1. Sebastian did pretty well. He went 6-2 on day 1, and he won his winning in on stream actually, and he switched to Kylo 5 Tarkin Town a week before the event. He's always so indecisive on decks, and I was bullying him so much with it and like really teasing him about, oh, why do you change it so late? Like you should just stick to what you've been practicing and so on. But he ended up doing really really well, so I had to
mm.
apologize and like eat my words and so on. So I was very happy to see him go that far. Didn't go that well on day 2, unfortunately, but he managed to clutch it out, winning the very last Swiss round and ending on 7-5. Michael had a super strong run as well. I think he finished in the top 10 of day one Swiss. Pretty sure he went 7-1. A really really good showing, and also played that deck in the
Mm,
little regional, so he's definitely had some experience with it.
yeah.
Unfortunately, he lost his winning in on day two for the top cut, and ended on 9-3 in total. It was very bittersweet because we were sitting like diagonally across from each other, and his game finished before mine, and it was looking good for me. And then I noticed that he lost. I was like, ah, but I had
Ah,
to
yeah.
then win it for all of us
Mm.
in the
Who,
team, right?
who did he lose against?
He lost to a guy called Chem, who played Kira
Mm.
Data Vault, and he also played
Okay.
that
So,
in the Lille regional actually. So they were both
yeah.
playing decks that they have been
Yeah.
on for quite
So
a while, right?
that was the Kira Datavold that made
Yes,
top cut. Yeah.
and he lost in the top four, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Excellent. Cool. Well, great job to the Nordic Knights as well, giving giving Scandinavia a good showing in the international tournaments. But the rest of the event now as well, like how was that as an event? Like you went to both Bilbao
hmm.
and Munich, one of the the lucky people who have the energy and everything to be able to go
Who at the
to
time
these
don't
as
have
well,
any kids, maybe.
and at the time don't have any. Yeah, that's so.
uh,
But yeah, so how was the rest of the event?
Overall, the event was fine. Wasn't anything crazy. Like the area was nice and chill, but the venue inside was a bit dull. It was very compact and maybe lacking a bit of toilets and food. So like some logistics that could be improved for further events. But overall, it went all right. They seemed a bit understaffed at times with some long queues at the
Mm.
prize wall and stuff like that. But nothing that I was affected by too much. It was more word of mouth, and I think everybody noticed the queue at the end, but I think that was
So
the
there was
worst
a
part.
lot of queuing that I realized as well for some of the side events, and I mean, you didn't really. Did you get into any side events, or did you have time to?
No, no, no. I didn't have time for that playing
Yeah.
all the Swiss rounds, which was a bit unfortunate, or not unfortunate, of course, but they had such cool side events. So I was actually a bit excited to try some of them. Like they had the pre-release, of course, because it was the same
Yeah.
weekend, and then they had some 3 versus 3 team sealed event,
Oh yeah.
and they had some trilogy and 2v2 versus 2 drafts and so on. Like just a bunch of formats that we haven't really seen as side events before, and yeah, I hope they bring them back for future events.
Well, blame yourself for playing so well.
Yeah, I know.
But that's really cool that they kind of getting the and the limited and the the non-competitive one and really promoting
Yeah.
those different ways to play and different fun ways to play the game.
Yeah, exactly. So I
Yeah,
really hope that they're gonna continue with some of those. I want to
yeah,
try it at some point.
cool. And what about the prize wall? Because that's something else that's been differing between.
Yeah,
Um,
they changed it up a little bit this time. So previously they've done the prize wall tickets physically with being stamped with like 100, 500, whatever how many
mm,
points they're worth. But this time they did it digitally, so it would be tied to your melee account, I believe, and then based on your wins in the different events, you would get X amount of points allotted to your account, so that then you could scan a QR code at the prize wall um, to see how many tickets you had, and you could also see what was available on the prize wall, the prices for it, and how many were in stock actually, which was quite
that's pretty
surprising.
well organized. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was a bit skeptical about it going into the tournament because they didn't mention that it was going to be digitally, but I was pleasantly surprised by it. I thought it worked quite well, and yeah, hope they also continue with that going forward.
Really nice. Okay, so that there was some good positives there as well. But even though it maybe very different to Bilbao in some ways, but also, you know, they did. And it could be that they're not going to be in the same venue every single time.
No, no, of course not.
You know,
So
you could
gotta
be
make do
limited by the
with what you
venues.
have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, it's been amazing to talk about your experience and everything you went through in Munich there. I'm really hoping to be able to get to one of these events at
Yeah,
some
we
point
miss you
next
at these
year.
events, Jason. You need to come.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm also very happy for anyone, if you're listening, if you know, to pay for me to come out and cast. I'm also happy to come and do that one. So if anyone wants to do that, a couple of us, we really enjoy casting these events as well. But I really hope to be able to get out and make one of these with you guys once we're a little bit settled, because they really do sound like a lot of fun and something that people should be being able to experience.
It's all good fun, and especially just meeting up in between, or like because you get to know the same people, right, from tournament to tournament. It's just cool, like catching up and checking out in with how they're doing.
Thank you so much for giving up your evening for this, and well, good luck. What's the next tournament for you? Have you got anything planned in the future? We got the RQs, SQs in January next year, I think, in Holland and France. Are you planning on to go to any of those?
I think that's gonna be some of the next. I don't think I'm gonna go to the Paris one. I'm not too much into limited, at least not as a competitive format. I'm hoping to go to the one in the Netherlands, but they didn't really announce anything yet regarding the specific date. They said that it's going to be in January, but where in the Netherlands and when, like, we're still waiting to see that. So depends.
I think the Netherlands is something that I would quite like to try to, but obviously there is also the Swedish PQ, which is a couple of weeks before. So, but the Netherlands for you, I think, is really close, and you know, because I think that does Denmark border Netherlands. This is kind of me that
no. Border Germany, and then you've
got to go through Germany a little bit, don't you,
to
get into there. But it's not a huge thing. It must be what, half-hour drive or something.
At least closer than Sweden.
I guess so. Exactly. Yeah, excellent, cool. Well, I hope to see you there, and we will. I hope good to see you back in a future episode on the podcast. The rest of the details, the stuff that we talked about, is actually, if you haven't listened to our previous episode, Adam and Victor go into a little bit more detail about all of the stuff that's been coming up as well, but I won't bore you and repeat what they said. So go and listen to the end of that episode, and if you miss us, go and listen to it again. Why not? But until then, Stevo, thank you again. Thank you, listener, for tuning in. If you want to support us and all the stuff we're doing, and help us get into a position where we can cast more and get to more places to cast, please consider supporting us on Patreon. The link is in the show notes. Our Discord is open for everyone. Come in and say hi, talk decks, and give us some feedback. We're on Instagram. We do have a X account, or Twitter, or whatever we want to call it now. It's not lively, but come and engage with us and I might answer. But yeah, no, so that's where you can find us. Are you socially, Steve, are you on any platform where people can reach out to you and say hi and ask about your deck?
Not anything too public, I guess. I mean, if anyone wants to chat a bit, I'm on the Nordic Takedown Discord as well. You can find me there, and you're also free to shoot me a direct message on Discord.
Cool. Discord is the place where it is at. So, with that, we will say may the force be with you, and good night.
Good night.